This is Anita Dean. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ventura, California, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Oops. And I wanted to show you um, this really fun folder I've been having a lot of fun making. It's really quite simple to put together, but very effective in how the picture rotates from the front to the inside as you open it. Now, I made a whole bunch of these for my grandkids for Halloween, and then I started working with it for Christmas cards, and I thought I should share this with you because it's so fun and easy to do. Now, before I get into the details of that, a couple of things I wanted to mention. There is a starter kit special going on this month from October 1st to the 31st, in which you can become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator between, for just $99, and you get $155 worth of product in your starter kit. Your starter kit also includes free business supplies and free shipping. And of course, there's the fun of being part of the Stampin' Up! Community, and I can vouch for that. I have had so much fun after I became a demonstrator. Really only joined for the discount, but honestly, I was having so much fun, I felt selfish. I had to share, and that's what I'm doing now, is I am sharing. The other thing I wanted to mention was that there is a kit sale going on, again, all this month through the 31st from the kit collection. You have a sale that can have up to 30% off. And if you wanted to, you could actually add some of the discounted priced kits to your starter kit. So you're actually getting extra savings as you do that. Now, back to this card. Oh, it's been so fun creating it, and I just wanted to share the process. Now, in this case, I was using designer series paper that was retired because I had it. I was trying to clear my clutter and use up my old stuff, but because I want things that are available to you guys, I went ahead and picked out the naturally gilded um, specialty paper. Now, this one's silver. It came also in copper and gold. And what I did was, you need an opening, and what I did was I cut the opening using the largest circle die from the Stylish Shape set. I used the largest one, and then what I did was I had to stamp a scene so that we could create the picture that's going to go inside the circle. And what I did was I stamped a group of trees, and I did generational stamping so that the background was lighter than the forefront trees. And then I chose a deckled circle die that was slightly smaller than the die I cut the circle with. And you can see the evidence here. By cutting this with a deckled circle, you can see just a rim of the cardstock around the outside. Now, I also die cut the deer. In this case, I used pecan pie. And I die cut the sentiment. Now, the sentiment, when I die cut it, I used another Stylish Shape dies, basically the larger one of the short one. So it just fit perfectly. The sentiments I used for this card came from Peaceful Season. I used Wishing You and Yours for the front, and then inside I put All the Best. Now, because I used a green background on the first card, I stamped with the shaded spruce ink. But since I'm using Blueberry Bushel for this card, I stamped the sentiments in Blueberry Bushel. So that will be coming into play later. Now when I did, if I can find my pieces, there they are. What I did was I stamped the deer and then I die cut it, and then I placed the deer on the image to determine where I wanted the deer to be. And I wanted the deer to be far enough that it looked like it was standing in snow, but still showed the trees behind it. So then I used that as my guide, and I used Post-it tape to tape this down and die cut it, sending it through the die cut embossing machine. And I ended up with a die cut piece, and this will be going on the circle that I'll be die cutting out of the card base. Now, what happens is when I put this designer series paper on here, I only put glue along the very edge because I didn't want glue in the middle here. And then I took the stylish shaped circle die and I kind of centered it, raised, so I have room for my sentiment out here, and I secured it with Post-it tape and ran it through my machine. Now, because I've done that, this is already ready to go, and I can put this out. Now, I'm just removing the tape, putting it off to the side, there, and then because they're pressed together, they want to stick together, but then you have these two pieces. Now, in another card, I used my leftover piece from this, but for right now, the only piece we need is the blue circle. And what I did was I have the scene I did, and I'm just going to glue that down right now. Now, I use the Tombow liquid glue. The reason being is my arts aren't always the best, and I have learned that I appreciate the wiggle room the liquid glue gives me. So what I've done is I've put some glue on the back of this now, and I'm going to just kind of line it up so it's centered in that circle so we have an even frame around. Now that's going to take a few seconds to dry, and we'll let that do it. But let's see, we're going to put our deer here too. So I'm using the same glue, but I'm using a fine tip bottle, and let's see. I'm just helping me see the glue is coming out. Okay, and then I use this fine tip bottle to add glue to when I have a detailed die. I don't want glue to be seeping out all over, so I'm more careful with the amount of glue I add. And then I'm going to take this, and the other thing I do a lot of times if I'm working with smaller pieces is I'll use my tweezers and just kind of let it help guide the piece to the correct position. Okay, and we'll give that a moment to adhere. Now while we're doing that, let that dry a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the mechanism. Now the mechanism is 5.5 by 8, and I scored it at 2 inches, 3.5, and 5.5. Okay, and what's going to happen is I'm going to fold it, a mountain fold, another mountain fold, and this becomes a valley fold. Okay, now I have one I've already prepared, but that's what's going to happen is it's going to be placed inside here. It's going to be glued down right next to this the fold, and I try to balance it between the two sides. And then you have to be careful because you don't want any glue on this portion. So what I do, and this is something I learned from making a bunch of them. You know how you practice doing stuff, and as you practice, you learn little tricks along the way. Well, I learned a little trick because I didn't want the glue to seep out. I was careful not to get too close to the edge, and what I found was a little glue dot right here in the corners. Here and here are going to be helpful because when I put the glue, let's see, I don't want it to go beyond that point. So let's see. I don't know how well it's going to show up in a dark card, but I'm just kind of making a dot, helping me know the limits of where this should be. Okay, that kind of is a guide for me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my liquid glue again, and I'm going to go along the edge. Oh, I got a little ring there. Along the edge and down and along the edge again. And then I'm going to bring a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here. I am trying to avoid the edge because I don't want the glue to seep out. The glue dries clear, but it is shiny. So if you by chance end up with glue where you don't want it, you can get a glue eraser, which works really well. I've been very thankful for that multiple times. Now what I'm doing here is I'm taking and I'm putting this right up against the edge or that fold, and I'm trying to make it even on both sides. Okay, and then I'm putting a little pressure there for the glue dot. Now I'm going to give that a moment to secure itself, but what's going to happen is that if you fold it this way, your sentiment is placed perfectly where it needs to be, your sentiment piece. So while that is drying, I can go here and I can add the glue to the back of this. Okay. All right. And then I take and I hold it flat and I just close it down like that. So easy. Now, this is our mechanism, and what I'm doing here is I'm closing it to make sure it's all operational as it needs to be, which is super. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to add the Designer Series paper I chose for the inside. Again, I'm using the liquid glue because it gives me a chance to adjust if I need to line it up like I want it to be. Okay. Now, if you have directional paper, you're going to want to pay attention to make sure that it's going the right way. That can be embarrassing sometimes if you don't. Some things are more prominent than others. This isn't as prominent, but some of them are. All right, here goes the other one. I'm running low on my glue. Like I said, I've been having a lot of fun making these, so I've been going through my glue pretty fast. And this, the wider piece, oh, I didn't give you the measurements. Well, okay. We'll measure it real quick. Okay, this one is 1.25 inches, and I believe this is 4 and 3/4. So these are both 4 and 3/4 high. This one's 1.25 inches wide. This one is 1.75 inches wide. And then now we're going to close this up, and this is the trick. Okay, pay close attention. What we're going to do is we have our card. You're going to want to line it up, and it's going to fit right in there, okay? But what we want to do is we want to put glue only on this side. So I'm going to put some glue here. Okay. And then I'm going to line up the circle. I start with the far side. I want to make sure it's going the right direction. Okay. And got to make sure it lines up so it fits and everything. And then here you go. Now this is a little quick because I haven't, but basically your card is almost done. Now, let's see. Oh, I know I used the stamp in my Stamparatus, but in here somewhere I have, there it is. Here's the sentiment I chose, and if you want, you can put some dimensionals on it to pop it up. Okay, again, I'm using my tweezers, reverse tweezers, to kind of help me line it up so my fingers will get in the way of what I'm seeing. All right, and then for this one, I used little clear rhinestones, and I think they'll work for this as well. Let's see. Now, clear rhinestones are a good investment because if you want to color one, you can color the one you need instead of having to have a large selection of all these different colors. You can get the clear and just color as needed. Now, okay, come on. Oh, you're being obstinate today. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's one. I'm going to do a medium one here. Two. And then a little one. Three. Okay, so there you have a little bling. And you have your card. Now, you can just stamp your sentiment on this side. I tend to use the Stamparatus when I put my sentiment in there, which is what I did with this one. And your card is done. That was so quick and easy. The card base is a standard size, 5.5 by 8, scored at 4 1/4. And then the designer series paper on top was 4 by 5 1/4. Yeah, 5.5. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And then you're just using the two circles. One was the stylish shape circle, and the other one was the deckled edge circle, which is slightly smaller and lets you see that little glimpse of blue. And now I have another Christmas card I can use. Isn't that fun? Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this. I've just been having so much fun that even though I still try to teach online classes, this is one you can do with all kinds of cardstock. I did them a bunch for Halloween. You can, whatever your favorite cardstock is, you can use it and just have a blast. It's so easy, and it's got that fun element to it, and I am just thrilled. Um, this particular paper of was from Winter Meadows, and it was carried over. It's gorgeous paper, and it was carried over, so you can still get it. You'll have to go, I believe, online to look it up, but it's I got extra copies, pages, packets of it because I thought it was so pretty. But anyway, here we are with a simple card that's really a very effective card using these two sets and the Peaceful Season sentiments. And anyway, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this little video, you can share it with others. The fun fold I learned from Patty Bennett, and I really appreciate her sharing that with me because I have had a lot of fun with it, and now it's your turn to have some fun with it as well. Oh, let's see, one more thing. I am doing a class online. It's one card. Let's see. It's a Christmas card. Where did I put it? It's a Christmas card. Oh no, that's not it. Okay, I said it someplace. It's a Christmas card that is using nests of winter paper, which is birds, and the birdhouse. This is the stamp set, the birdhouse, but I used the dies in constructing it. Anyway, it's another fun fold that it will be on, let's see, October 26th at starting at 10. It's going to be a Zoom class. It's going to be online, and what's going to happen is you need to let me know. I'm making up the kits now. You need to let me know if you want to join in this week because I need to get enough kits made so that they can be picked up and just you have them on hand when the class starts. I think that's it for now. Anyway, have a good day and enjoy.